So hello everyone, it is so good to be back, and today we're bringing you a bit more of a traditional video. We're going to delve into the world of mountain biking today, and we are returning to Sadlers Creek. In this case, it should be a fairly simple film shoot, though it's also an exceptionally hot day out at about 95 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever that is in Celsius. It's pretty rough. It's also very humid because we just had rain the other day, but go ahead and come along with me and I'll tell you all about it.
So let's start off with the basics here. Something I always bring along is this camelback. More specific, please make sure you properly take care of it. There should be instructions on the back. Just go ahead and fill it up beforehand after you've cleaned it before you go on a trip. And once you have that all nice and prepped and ready the day before, hopefully, you can just sling it into your refrigerator and let it cool off from there. At the moment it might seem silly, but trust me, when it cools off, it's gonna feel so good out there on the trail. As a final note, if you're going to add anything like sugar or liquid IV, please, after using it, wash out your camelback. Otherwise, it's going to be a home for mold in the future. Very dangerous. Be sure to also run a maintenance check on your bike, in particular on your tubes and tires. It's a lot easier to just go ahead and take your pump and fill it up now than to do it on the trail. As a final note, go ahead and bring a tool bag along with you and bring items like tire levers, a cheap multi-tool, any of those will do. Go ahead and also bring some patches just in case they can fix the issue, but most of all, bring spare tubes. I like to pack a couple just in case. When it's finally your big day, just go ahead and throw everything pre-made into the car, but a friendly note, always make sure you have your shoes. I have forgotten them multiple times over the course of a decade, and that's embarrassing. After that, you're pretty much good to go. You can grab your bike, rack it up. In this case here, I have a Yakima, so I hook it up to the Jeep, and then we're ready to go down the road. And real quick, shout out to the lady with the German Shepherd here. That boy was having a good time. Returning to Sadlers Creek is always a privilege, and here, for Labor Day weekend, they went ahead and dressed up the front sign. Isn't that swell? There are over 6 miles of walking and biking trail available, and those can always be extended out on taking loops. But even better for me today, the park was naturally almost abandoned. Also, if you ever want to park where I am, it's the Primitive Youth Area 3 through 5. There are plenty of maps and informational kiosks, but for the sake of better transparency, we're starting at this point here, and we'll just be taking a big loop around before returning to our parking space. A quick moment to talk shop here. I'm currently riding an Otero Mongoose from the year 2009 with disc brakes. Pretty cozy setup. It also has Mag 32s on the front, so we bounce pretty cozy.
So now that we're here, we are fully set up and ready to go. There's the bike, the Otero is ready. I am personally ready, so now let's get to showing you what this park is all about.
So whenever you're ready to start, just look for a tree that says bike trail, and from there, take the bike trail. Starting off is pretty good out here because it's relatively flat, but there's a few up and downs, so you can get warmed up through the grass and some of these slight rolling hills. All in all though, this is a very easy and friendly start. This particular section here now, although sped up, is a real blast because you leave the flatlands and quickly get into a little more hilly section, although there's no chance to get big air. Going all the way up to that bench is a ball, but eventually it's going to flatten out leading into these grasslands, but that's okay because that's just a sign for fun to come. Once you cross the street, you're going to hit just a little air, and you're going to come up here to a sign that says loop and exit. It's a fork in the road. Take the exit first, trust me. The exit trail actually leads you to some of the better training areas, though starting off it's going to be pretty slow, but at least we hit a nice downhill in this area, and a little bunny hop. Especially at the very end when it flattens out, you get a real good speed boost. From there you need to work your way back uphill a bit, but this is all worth it for the downhill section, especially because when we hook right, we get to run into a couple bunny hops, 3 of them to be exact. And it was good fun, of course, until we ran into this tree, but I can't be too hateful of nature, that's just how it is. It was easy to get around. Once you pass that up, this is a great area for children and people just getting used to embankment riding for the first time. There'll be 3 of those, and you can come in and hit these at a pretty decent speed. In this case, for the camera, I'm pretty slow. But once you're done with those, you'll come up to this pink ribbon, and that shows off the new side of the trail. We'll come back to this in a future video. Now, let's return to the fun side of going downhill. All that hard work is paid off, and we get some decent air. Now, let's go to my favorite section. We're gonna come up here to a three-way, and we're gonna wanna go to this rightmost direction if we've come on the map properly. In this case, right here. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a POV shot and just talk you through how to go about this, because this section is an absolutely excellent area for circuit training or for anyone who happens to do track riding. I personally came out here many times to train. So we'll hit a few basic short bunny hops here. We'll get a little decent speed coming into a slight downhill before hitting hard on the rear handbrake and skidding around two of these corners. Then we get to come into the more fun part of this. You'll come downhill again, pick up speed, go into the big gears. You're going to hit this first embankment, which is small, but then I would suggest the second embankment that you largely avoid it because you'll just slip out. Then we're down here for a couple more bunny hops. We'll whip around and catch up speed in the big gear before shifting down, and then we'll have to work our way back uphill. So prepare to get a little winded, especially if you're racing this track. From here, it's just going to be bunny hops until we finish up strong. But be sure to have a bit of fun. You can run in any of the mid gears to the higher gears, especially if you're in shape, and just push through the big chain ring. You'll get good speed and get ahead of anyone. And of course, just work on your pacing and breathing techniques here, because once you come up to this last little chicane, you'll just turn right and you'll be done with it. And of course, you can return and keep doing it as much as you want. But here at the stop sign, you'll notice we have another series of maps, but best of all, the only tool bench in town. And they have pretty much everything you'd need or want. But from here, let's go to one of my favorite embankments. We cross the street at the stop sign, and although this is a shorter area, it's pretty fun. You get a lot of twists and turns up here, some bunny hops, and you can pick up really good speed on the big gears especially. But what's most fun is when you just wrap the final corner of the day and come upon this hill. You're gonna hit this nice red clay embankment, and you can get some good speed here. All you have to do is go up to that top of the hill and then put it in a big gear and gun it down. I'm going a little slower here, but you can do a lot of practice, and I really suggest you come out here, especially to work on your slides and hops. Now we return to our favorite sign, and this time we get to actually follow the loop there. For the most part, I'm not going to show you too much of what lays after that because it's flat and fairly boring, but once you come to the final climb of the day, you're actually going to get to what I consider a really sweet reward. That's the final downhill circuit. You see right here, just a few meters away from the car park, is a nice little downhill slope. See? Right here, this big S-curve is all yours to enjoy. It's fairly minimal work, and you just get to go down it all the way. It's also a nice hard pack, so you just keep on sliding with good grip, and it'll just carry you all the way to your car. You do a few basic bunny hops, whip a few corners, but it's pretty relaxed. You do get to hit one of the best embankments of the day right there. The other two coming down just get more rocky, so they're not nearly as much fun. Also, coming up, shout out to the park ranger, thank you for cutting that. It had been down for over a year, so it really ruined it until now. You can enjoy this now unadulterated and in its entirety. Up here is that other culvert I'm talking about. When you hit that one, just be careful, it's fairly rocky, so don't go to the furthest height. You'll keep on carrying on, you'll smack a few twigs, take it easy, you're just cruising for the most part and cooling off. And you'll hit this, you'll decelerate and hit, frankly, the lamest embankment of the day. But you get to finish up with a couple bunny hops, and that's going to lead you to the very end of the course. You're going to come right up into the woods here, and it's going to slow down from then on. See? Look at my pace. Nice, easy jog back to the car park. You will hit one final climb, which feels a bit like an insult when you have to hit it after all that work, but once you're at the car, life is good.
So as you can all properly see right now, I am quite filthy and sweaty and dirty. So give me about 30 minutes. I'm going to clean up a little bit, take a shower, become civilized again, and then we'll debrief on what we did right here at Sadlers Creek on the mountain bike trail. So now that we finished up with that, let's talk on what we actually experienced at Sadlers Creek for mountain biking. And I'd like to start by saying that it's really a well-maintained park, especially for a smaller scale state park. It's really nice. It's very cozy. It's got a lot of amenities that you could want, and the rangers are very friendly and helpful. There's plenty of maps out there, and it's just pretty to look at in general. With all of that said, let's go to the mountain biking side of things now. So this is a great park for beginners, as well as for people looking to just get loose or warm up. It's great for circuit training as well. And it's, all in all, just a nice example of going out in the nature and having a good time. All of that said, if you're looking for big ollie air, if you're going to be looking for extreme downhill work, if you're looking for a mountain, this is not the place. Just because it's on a peninsula, and that peninsula is on water. It is not a mountain. Again though, going back, this is still worth your time to visit, just to experience something new and different. It's also great to take your kids out to, or if you're a first timer, this is a really wonderful introduction to what it means to mountain bike, and you can go at just about any pace that you like. I really recommend that you go out to Sadlers Creek and try it out. 6 miles without even having to do the loop are available to you, so you can really play at your own pace and have a lot of fun. Please go out there, and thank you again for being with us. If you enjoyed our content, please like and subscribe. And as always, I thank you so much for your time. You have a good one. Bye.
Until next time, dear viewer, this is the Eager Beaver signing off.